Welcome to Peace Vision. We are a portal for positive change. And today the change we're going to talk about is a big one. It's called forgiveness. And with me is 11-time author, New York Times bestseller, and just great all-around guy, Mr. David Essel. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, John. Awesome to be with you.
So forgiveness, big topic.
Huge. And
how does it hold us back?
Most of us don't even know how to do it. We think, turn the other cheek. But that doesn't do anything. Forgiveness means going into the discomfort. And I have a great story out of this book, Positive Thinking Will Never Change Your Life, but this book will. Scarlett Lewis, a great friend, her son Jesse, such a sad story, one of the 20 individuals murdered at the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre. Just terrible, right? And so when I interviewed her 8 months, John, after the event, and I contacted her, I said, this might be too soon to have you on our radio show, and she said, no, I'm totally ready. She came on and I said, Scarlett, first of all, I'm so shocked. What are your feelings about Adam Lanza, the person that murdered your child? Where are you? And she said, David, after 8 months of doing intense work at every level, the stuff you teach, writing about my anger, my resentment, my sadness, my grief, my loss, I realized that I only had one option. I could work hard on forgiving the killer of my son, or the killer of my son will have my life as well as Jesse's in his hand. So she said it took 8 months, 8 to 10 hours a day of doing the intense journaling, how rageful I was, how angry I was, for me to start to see the break. Now, she said, my son JT, who's still with me, we don't have to carry the burden of this killer with us. We're free. And from that experience, John, she has followed her passion. She is one of the leading experts, speakers, and writers in the world of forgiveness that we've ever seen. She goes and talks to death row inmates about forgiveness. She travels to school systems about forgiveness. She is an amazing force. And you know someone very well who's also followed the same pathway.
I do, yes. An amazing lady by the name of Immaculée Ilibigeza. And Immaculée was living in Rwanda at the time when her entire family was murdered by their caretaker. And it's a very complex story because it was a kind of a political strife between the Hutus. Anyway, the man who killed her entire family, sent to jail for 10 years, he came out. I was with her doing a documentary about her life story, and she had her house burned down, rebuilt her house. She happens to be Catholic, built an altar in the middle of her house, had mass, and who came to the mass? The person that killed her entire family, standing right next to Immaculée, who had totally forgiven this guy. Now, this is beyond, like, it's hard to reason that
Yes.
somebody's capable of this.
Yes.
But I remember there was a priest there, and he saw what was happening. He was actually said the mass, and he said to me afterwards, he said, I'm a priest, and I don't think I could forgive the way Immaculée did. But maybe because of her, I can forgive the small things. And if we start by forgiving the small things, maybe we're on our road. Because what does it do to us when we hold on to that?
Well, first of all, it destroys your immune system function. Okay, so let's go right off the top. When you have an internal anger, resentment, rage, etc. Now, you might think it's gone away, right? Because no one's brought up someone's name for 10 years or 15 years, and then all of a sudden you run into someone. And if you haven't done the work, and I'm not talking about this work, I'm talking about writing, journaling, working with a professional.
Why does that help? Why is the journaling important?
Well, because the mind cannot change a thought in the mind long term. Let me repeat that. The mind cannot change a negative thought in the mind long term. So you can sit there and say, I'm going to be a good Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, whatever it is, and I'm going to forgive this person, right? But if it's done here, within seconds, that's gone, John. Within seconds, that positive thought is gone. And the next time that person's name comes up, there's a darn good chance you're going to feel uncomfortable. Now, we do our program. We have a 4-step process for forgiveness. We do our program with people that still have resentments against has a husband or a lover that cheated on them 30 years ago and they've never done anything about it. We have a woman whose sister was killed by a drunk driver, and she was so angry at God for 30 years. She gained 150 pounds in her anger. She isolated herself from friends.
We lost all that life. Yeah,
she lost life, right, over a lack of forgiveness. Within 12 months of forgiving the driver that had killed her sister and forgiving God. She had to forgive God, actually, because she was so mad at God for so many years. Within 12 months, she was back to being out in public, losing weight. But it wasn't because she was thinking forgiveness, John. She was doing the work.
And the steps, I take it, are in this book right here.
They sure are.
You can go on to Peace Vision's website, peacevision.com, sign up for David's book. You can download it. And you can also sign up for some free Peacegrams. They're inspirational sayings to start your day out that I think you'll enjoy as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.